I'm Ian Deary. I'm Professor of Differential Psychology at the University of Edinburgh and Director of the Centre for Cognitive Ageing and Cognitive Epidemiology. My role in the project is as Director of the Lothian birth cohorts of 1921 and 1936, and overall I steered the project along with Peter Vischer from the University of Queensland. What we're trying to do in the paper was provide what we think is the first estimate of how much genetics contributes to the change in intelligence differences between childhood and old age. And the estimate we came up with was about 24%. And what that means is this, is that genetic factors account for about 24% of how much people change in their relative scores in intelligence from age 11 to old age. And for us, old age was 65, 70 or 79. Many teams around the world are trying to find out why some people's brains and cognitive capabilities age better than others. And part of that is looking for genetic and environmental factors. And we haven't until now had an estimate of the proportion of factors that come from genetics and those that come from the environment. So it's actually quite useful to have some estimate of how much genetics is contributing to the change in intelligence from childhood to old age. And also, because genetics, the other side of that is the environment, we get some sort of estimate for the environment too. So it could be helpful in finding out more about why people's brain functions change with age. We did the study by having an unusual resource. We had the same people take intelligence tests in old age who had already taken intelligence tests at age 11. So it's unusual to have this. We had about 2,000 such people. We also got them to give blood samples. From the blood samples we extracted DNA, and from the DNA we tested them for genetic markers in 500,000 plus different places. Then what we did was this, we took the over 500,000 genetic markers, worked out how similar people were based on their DNA, and we looked at how that similarity related to whether in fact they were similar in how their intelligence changed from childhood to old age. And the answer was that there was a relationship. That is, people who were more genetically similar tended to have more similar changes in intelligence from childhood to old age. And again, our estimate was that to the degree that people change in intelligence from age 11 to old age, genetic factors account for about 24% of that. The work was conducted in the Centre for Cognitive Ageing and Cognitive Epidemiology at the University of Edinburgh, but the studies included 3 basic locations. In Edinburgh we have the Lothian birth cohorts of 1921 and 1936, in Aberdeen, the Aberdeen birth cohort of 1936, and in Queensland, in Brisbane, we have the expertise to do the statistical genetics. So together with those cohorts and new genetic statistical methods, we were able to put together the study. It was particularly pleasing to be able to do this project from the Centre for Cognitive Ageing and Cognitive Epidemiology, which is funded under the Lifelong Health and Wellbeing Initiative, contributed to by various research councils in the United Kingdom. Because in the centre we have the expertise in human cohorts, in cognition, and in genetics and statistical methods, and it was that concentration of expertise in the centre that made this possible, in addition to the funding that came separately for each of the cohorts.